From the Empire State to the Golden Gates, this is Quad Radio USA.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Now, with all the dirt from the world of ATV Motocross and GNCC Racing, here's Mr. 10 Seconds, Rodney Tomlin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Quad Radio, and a special one tonight we have for sure. This one about the Southeast Quads, and we got two great guys with us tonight, and they are, of course, Glen Turner and Chris Harper, who are kind of figureheads, if you will, of the Southeast Quads, which is a very unique and probably one of the fastest growing regional ATV championship series in the country right now. As we say good evening, and welcome to Chris and Glen. How's things going, guys?
Wonderful. How are you, sir, Rodney?
I guess we ought to figure out a pattern here on who's going to speak, because I know that all of us like to talk a lot, and there's a lot to talk about tonight and some exciting things coming as far as the Southeast Quads are concerned. And maybe, Glen, I'll let you explain a little bit of it, because you've got probably the coolest accent of us all. And
I appreciate that.
Hey, man, not a problem at all. But tell me a little bit about this Southeast Quads. I know that, I've had a chance to talk with Chris about it, and you on and off a little bit, and I've watched a lot of things come up about with this series over the course of, last year in particular, the 2014 season. Tell me a little bit about this series, where it came from, what it's all about, and from what I can gather, this is probably one of the more unique championship series in the country.
It is, Rodney, and I mean, it was started many years ago. I want to say 04, 05 is actually when it started by a couple of riders down here in the South, and it's exchanged hands a few times. I took it. It was actually handed to me in a shoebox at a finale race back in, I want to say it was 2011. So I've been involved with it since 2012. It is growing year over year, growth rate at about 20%, and we've just had a lot of vibe from families and guys out there that are coming to join this year. We're looking for a substantial growth this year. I really, I can't express enough that this is actually the Riders Series. It is nobody else's. If you're a member of SC Quads, this series is your series. It is nonprofit. Nobody takes anything from it, and every penny that the series brings in, we dump right back in it.
And from what I can see, that's something that's been working, because last year, man, last year was a banner year, and from what I understand, I realized that 2015 is going to be even more huge with some of the, one of the first things we'll be talking about here in just a few moments with the co-sanctioning of the National Championship Series with the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Nationals.
Yes, that is something, we really look forward to. Got some help with Chris on that, and that they actually, it was just something that was brought up. Hey, how would you guys like to do this? Of course, I think Chris had spoke with Tim Cotter some. I spoke with Dean and Van Leeuwen, and it just came together, man. It was something that we wanted. It's unique. Love the exposure we're going to get. Hope that we can bring some value to that, because our guys are not. Some of them are, but for the most part, our guys are not national riders. These guys are guys that run this local series, and I say local, regional series. And this will put some more numbers on the gate down there at Echeconnee this year, man. I can't wait. I'm just ecstatic. I'm ready to see it happen. What I did in the past. I've been gone from that series now for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't wait to get back in there. It's something. It's just a passion of mine. I love it. I have really missed it the last few years.
Oh, I don't doubt it, man. And I'll be honest with you, your presence, I believe, has been missed a little bit as well by a lot of folks. You've got a certain flair about you. There's no doubt about that, Glenn. But Chris, let's talk to you a little bit now about you and your involvement in this. Obviously, this is something you as an ATV racer believe in, man. I mean, this is something that obviously you want to make work, and you've jumped on board, and you've become kind of a major player in this along with Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the way that I got involved with the series, I've known about SE Quads for lots and lots of years, but I was out of ATV racing since 2008, jumped back in it in 2012, and whenever I got back in it in 2012, I ran the entire national series. And the whole time that I was running the national series, I had a great friend of mine that just kept on and kept on and kept on. You've got to come see us at SE Quad. You'll love the series. You'll love it. So long story short, whenever the national season was over that year and I wrapped up second place in the points in my class, I went and visited some SE Quads races. And he was right. I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was, I tell him all the time that I blame him for my involvement in this series right here. So long story short, I fell in love with it. Glenn and I hit it off and became, we don't even call each other friends. We just call each other great acquaintances. So, yeah, Glenn's a great acquaintance of mine. And really and truly, it was just a couple of guys that were just running a series for a bunch of ATV racers that love what they do. And I fell in love again, and I just wanted to, I don't know, for something just struck me, and I wanted to see it grow and wanted to help it grow and wanted to be involved with something that really meant something. And in my opinion, I really feel that this SE Quads organization really means something, and it means something to the riders. You know, it's not a business. Like Glenn said, everything that comes into the series goes right back into the series. So that's how I got involved with it. And honestly, whenever I got in, I haven't looked back since, and it's just been something ever since that day that I just wanted to see it grow.
And one way that, and that's great, and I think that's an awesome thing, and I think pulling your resources together the way that you guys have is amazing, and it's really helping out, I think, the sport by bounds and leaps. But, you know, looking at this schedule, man, I mean, you guys, we start out Echeconnee Motocross in Lozella, Georgia, Alma, Georgia at Alma MX. You got Phoenix in Phoenix, Alabama. You're in Albertville, Alabama for Sand Mountain, Fulton, Mississippi, Veterans MX. You're in Gaston, South Carolina. I mean, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about this. I mean, Tennessee and several other places. London, Kentucky, Daniel Boone Motocross Park, an old national scene schedule, used to be on the schedule. You guys go there. I mean, you go to a lot of different places. Obviously, you know, not having a facility of your own, you use a lot of different tracks and a lot of different resources, and I think that is one thing that probably helps accomplish what you guys are out to do out there, and I think that's an awesome thing. And I again, with that kind of resources, I think you guys are going to continue to grow like this. But let's talk about how you got some of these great places, in particular, Echeconnee. I guess you could say it's a new track to a lot of the ATV National Motocross racers that are racing these days. But if you've been around for a while, then this is kind of a homecoming as we get the opportunity to make our way back to Echeconnee, back in Lizella, Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know Chris and I both, you know, we've got some roots tied to that place. Dude, that was my favorite track for years. There's nothing like that deep sand. You never know what you're going to get lap for lap, man. It's just a challenge, and I can tell you, all these riders, you know, they prepare themselves for races. There's no way to prepare yourself for Echeconnee, you know, other than just endurance, because it's a brutal track, and I love it.
It's a great way, I think, to open up the ATV Motocross National Tour, I believe.
Well, I'm an old school racer myself, ATV racer myself, and I've got, like Glenn said, roots planted deep over there at Echeconnee, and that's the race that, way back in the 90s that I always looked forward to going to. They always opened up with, normally they opened up with Echeconnee, and I always looked forward to that. And that's one of those kind of tracks. I think that Jeremiah Jones said it best whenever he said that was his all-time favorite track to go to, because there was no doubt about it. Right from the start, you were going to separate the men from the boys.
No doubt. And you know what's really cool is with it being a deep sandbox, you've got out in Walnut is a deep sandbox, probably not as sandy as quite Echeconnee is, and you've also got a lot of sand up at Redbud, so I think that's a good balance on the ATV Championship Series, and it hits like in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the championship too. I think that's pretty neat. So that's cool that you guys were able to do that with Southeast Quads, bring the ATV National Motocross Championship there with the Mountain Dew Series. But after that, that's not only a series opener for the ATV Motocross, but I believe, or the Nationals, but it's also for Southeast Quads. And after that, you guys got a pretty vigorous schedule, it looks like, and one that has a lot of top-notch tracks on it looking at this.
Absolutely. Our round one is going to be right there, a co-sanctioned event with the ATV Nationals at Echeconnee. And then we've got 10 rounds following it, ranging, round two, we're going to Alma MX Park down in Alma, Georgia. We're going, round three is at Phoenix City Motocross Park in Phoenix City, Alabama. Round four, we're going to Sand Mountain MX over in Albertville, Alabama. Round five, this is another one that I'm really, really excited about because it takes me back to my early days of ATV racing. That's Daniel Boone MX over in London, Kentucky. Jeremiah Jones is actually helping us out with that event. He's going to be there, shaking hands and kissing babies and all this kind of good stuff.
It's crazy how the rumors go, because I heard that somebody was building houses over there on that place. I didn't even realize that place still even existed.
No, that place is still in existence, and actually Running Strong have got a great quad following over there. Whenever they have their regular Saturday or Sunday races over there, they're getting 12, 15, and 20 quads showing up over there. And anybody that knows local quad racing knows that's a great number for a local track.
Yeah, it
great
is.
Number of quads. After Daniel Boone, we go to I-40 MX over in Lenore City, Tennessee for round 6. And then round 7, we're going to a place called the Mountain MX in Madisonville, Tennessee. The Mountain's a great track. Got lots of elevation changes on it, natural terrain and everything. After that, we go to another sandbox called Crossbone MX in Billingsley, Alabama for round 8. Round 9 is Veterans MX over in Fulton, Mississippi, which is coincidentally the home of Big Daddy Stan Bigby from ITP Tires, that just happens to be a sponsor of ours also.
Wow.
Round 10, we go to HRD Motorsports in Gaston, South Carolina. That is formerly Palmetto, which is also another sandbox in itself. And then the season finale, which will be round number 11, is our King of the Mountain event over at Monster Mountain MX in Tallahassee, Alabama. And I'll tell you, if you've ever wanted to go to a place that you could call motocross heaven, you need to visit Monster Mountain. Tom Brinkman and the crew over there keep a phenomenal track. If they've got one rider or 800 riders on the track, that track is pristine every time you pull a tire on it.
Wow. That's a pretty phenomenal schedule. I'm sitting here looking at this, and from what I can gather, those are all off weekends too, as far as the Mountain Dew Championship Series is concerned. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Correct. We schedule our entire series around the national schedule. We'll never release a schedule until the Nationals have released their schedule, because we don't want to conflict with them at all. We want to give everybody equal opportunity to visit both series.
That is awesome. Now, with this, you got the season finale. It's an 11-round championship series this year. I guess you guys have like awards banquets and things like that. Is that how it works at the end of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. and that's something, that is just leaps and bounds been growing year after year because of involvement. When I first got this, like I said, back in 2012, we just had a handful of guys that were supporting this, and Chris can vouch for this too. It also goes with the tracks. We have let our presence be known, and we've got some tracks now. It was a struggle back in the day when I first started this because, I don't want to say some of these tracks wouldn't let us ride, but selectively let us ride at certain times. And it was a struggle to put together a schedule, because the economy just took a toll on everybody. And, quad racing was on the downfall. It's coming back. We love it. Now we got tracks approaching us. Hey, can we get an event? What's it going to take to get y'all to come to this facility and race our track? So it's growing. The awards banquet the same way. In terms of numbers, I don't know what exactly we gave away this year, but it was quite a bit, and I don't think anybody left our banquet disappointed this year. It was a really good turnout.
That's awesome, man.
Rodney Glen won't say it, but I will say it because I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it. At our banquet this year, our little bitty series handed out over $17,000 in product and awards and sponsorships. That's something that we're proud of. And I'm thankful to our sponsors for that, because if it weren't for our sponsors, then we wouldn't be able to support the riders that support our series.
Exactly. And I'm looking at this list of sponsors, man. I mean, you got some top-notch sponsors here. Talking about folks at ITP, Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com, Gold Speed, FTR, Amsoil looks like, and G-Force MX, also Explicit Motorsports, of course, Frankenstein MX, Quinn Motorsports, and Moto Trim. But man, those are some pretty high profile sponsors you guys have got lined up there, it looks like.
Absolutely. We're, like I say, we're proud to have every sponsor that we've got. In the past, we have years ago, we have tried to put together a plethora of smaller sponsors just to try to help grow the series, and I think that the series speaks well enough for itself now to where these sponsors want to be on board and they want to be involved with it, and they see the growth, and they see that that they're getting their money's worth out of what they're investing into it. So we're thankful to have them, and I think it's in return they're thankful to be a part of our program as well. So it is definitely a win-win situation for the sponsors as well as SC Quads.
Is it been hard to get the support from those kind of sponsors?
Very hard. I would say it's been hard.
It is tough, but these guys are starting to see a value in SC Quad. It's just phenomenal what social media will do for you, and I will contribute most of our success to that. When I first came here, we didn't so much have anything, for social media, no Twitter, no Facebook, no nothing. So that's something that in the past year and a half or so that Chris has been involved with this, that he's really hit the ground running, helping us do this and pushing this stuff around on social media, getting those flyers out, getting in touch with these local bike shops and making sure that they know that we are coming to that area. And for the most part, I've seen most of the tracks are doing their part too. It could always be better. We know that, and helping promote this as well. It's a plus for them to do that as well.
It is, and the social media thing, that is a huge key element in today's advertising market. I mean, just briefly, I mean, I recently had the opportunity to work kind of a regional indoor championship series, the West Virginia Indoor Championship, and I know a lot of the advertising that was being done in that market went through the television and radio, but amazingly, the TV and radio people were pushing the social media advertising as much as they were anything, and putting a lot of money into that. And they said, in reality, that's where you see the most returns. That's where they're starting to see the most returns.
Exactly, and I can tell you that since we started that Facebook page, and we don't have as many followers as we would like, of course.
Well,
but
hopefully we'll get that number up.
Absolutely, yeah. But originally when we would post a flyer, we would see 300 to 500 hits on a flyer in 5 days time. Now we post a flyer and push it around out there in 24 hours we'll have 5,000 hits.
Wow.
So that's what we're looking for. Just to get it out, spread the word.
There you go. And talk a little bit about the social medias that you guys are using right now. I know you guys obviously have got your Facebook page. That is, I'm sure, SE Quads?
That's correct.
And then let's talk Facebook, Twitter, or not Facebook, but Twitter and Instagram and all the other great social medias.
Go ahead, Chris.
We've got basically we've got all three. We've got a SE Quads Facebook page. There's an SE Quads Instagram. There's also an SE Quads Twitter. I will say that we don't utilize Twitter probably as much as we should.
Shame on you, man. That is bigger than Facebook right now, dude.
You gotta know how to use it, though, Roger.
That is something.
You got a first or second grader at home? Ask your first or second grader. They'll school you right up on that.
Yeah. I know, right? My daughter's 11. I need to get her in here to teach me about this Twitter thing. I have a Twitter personally, and we have one for SE Quads as well. Shame on me, because I guess the other 40 or 50 hours a week that I spend pushing it around on other social media gets in the way.
Yeah, but you're spinning your wheels, man. They got this thing called TweetDeck, and you can put it on one, and it'll go on all of them at the same time.
Well, when this phone call's over, Rodney, I'm going to call you personally for you to walk me through this.
All right. The sad thing about it is I haven't even utilized it in a while, but with the ramp back up of Quad Radio here in the 2015 season, you'll be seeing and hearing a lot more of me in the near future with at Quad Radio and also at Hot Rodney 22. But nonetheless, guys, so at SE Quads for Instagram, at SE Quads for Twitter, you're going to start doing that a little bit more. And that way you guys can start trending. So start following these guys, everybody out there. On the web page itself, it's simply sequads.com, and the schedule's there. Links to all the great sponsors, and there's photos on there. And I see that you've got is that pre-registration I saw on there as well?
No, that's actually membership. We are a membership-based, organization.
Right. Okay. All right. So you can become a member of SE Quads and become a supporter of it in that, right? And the way it sounds, you can help spread the word and be involved like Chris and Glen are here, because it is a true rider series.
Absolutely. And the thing about our series is we welcome everybody. We want, listen, if you got a 4-wheel drive, if you got a Grizzly, if you want to take the racks off of that thing and bring it out and put a kill switch and some number plates on it, as long as you can pass our tech inspection, which is the same tech inspection that they use at the Mountain Dew ATV National Series, then if you can get through there through tech inspection, then we want you. We want you to come ride with us, and we want you to experience this, because it's a family. It's a family atmosphere where we're at. It's people, you would not believe the families that just love our series, because they say they can't go out on the football field and play football with their kids whenever their kids are playing. They can't go on the soccer field. They can't go on the baseball field. This is a family sport.
Wow.
Where everybody can go and enjoy it one with another from age 4 up to age whenever you decide you want to quit racing.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about ATV motocross in general. and as well as the SE Quad Series, is that everybody's welcome.
That's great, man. That's great. And with that, I'm going to give you guys a couple of opportunities here to give us a couple of parting shots, and we'll call it a night, and we're going to sit back and reap and watch your hard work pay off, man, because SE Quads, I think, are going to be something huge, and it's only going to grow more and more, and the riders, all you riders, are going to be benefiting from it. Glenn, any parting shots that you'd like to share with us this evening?
Man, first I want to thank you for doing this with us. And, again, we couldn't do it without the riders and the sponsors. It takes the numbers there to make it happen, and it takes these sponsors behind us, to give back to these riders at the end of the year. So we appreciate everybody.
And Chris?
Absolutely the same thing. I want to thank you, Rodney, for giving us the opportunity to sit down and have this conversation with you. I also want to thank each and every sponsor once again, if I can name them: ITP, Rocky Mountain, ATVMC, Gold Speed, FTR, AMSOIL, G-Force, Explicit, Motor Trim, Glen Motorsports, and Frankenstein MX. I can't begin to thank everybody enough, because if it weren't for great sponsors like this and great riders and great participants of our series, then, a lot of guys wouldn't have a place to go, wouldn't have a place to ride. So thank you to everybody that's involved with this and supports this.
Hey, man, thank you for believing in the ATV racing nation and creating and helping maintain something that is really good and only getting better and better and better. And that, again, is Glen Turner and Chris Harper. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio.